Anyway, Joe, the Bills are trying to avenge a loss from earlier in the season. And my favorite thing to think about for this game is like, what will be different this time around? Not in result, but in process, right? Like, what is different about the Bills from week 4 or 5? It was week 5. And what's different about the Patriots since week 5? So let's start with the Bills in terms of what you think is different about them that New England will have to adjust to with how the Bills operate, 3 months later.
Well, I think the biggest thing is defensively. I think the Bills are a lot different team than the one they were in week 5. And we had talked a lot in the preseason about how the first stretch of the year is going to be tough for the defense with a lot of new pieces kind of coming together and, pieces not being available. And obviously the personnel hasn't quite been able to stabilize. But going back to that game, I mean, the Bills at defensive tackle, it was Fedarian Mathis having to play for the first time and Zion Logue at defensive tackle. It's still Taylor Rapp in the lineup. And we know the shift, right, that has happened with Poyer stepping in and how things have really stabilized on the back end. It's before McDermott's involvement in play calling defensively. Matt Milano popped his pec in that game. There was like a lot of things that weren't ideal. And I think will be different this time. I think the Bills obviously have things they have to overcome defensively in every single game, but I think that they're in a lot better position defensively just with how more connected they are with their overall scheme. They're playing cover 3 better. They're playing more man. They're using their back 7 depth to play matchups better. And so I think this team from a defensive perspective is a lot different than the one we watched in week 5. And, I think there's been some elements of the offense as well that have shifted quite a bit. Obviously the landscape of the receiver room is different. And that's going back to a time where Keon Coleman was your guy playing the most snaps. Well, now he's the receiver that plays the least amount of snaps. And so I think that's improved things. And I think this team is a lot more aware of who they are at this point in the season than they were back in week 5.